Hi, my name is Matt Skroch, and I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona Wilderness Coalition. It is the week of April 11th, 2011, and welcome to my weekly webcast. A couple of important things that we're following this week. I wanted to start with the first being the issue of solar development on our public lands. AWC is closely following the current released draft. It's actually a programmatic environmental impact statement that the Bureau of Land Management and the Department of Energy have issued to the public for comment. This is a broad plan that identifies 4.5 million acres of Arizona's public lands that may be fast-tracked for solar development. AWC has been engaged in trying to acknowledge and support appropriate solar development on public lands. We think that the current preferred alternative in this EIS goes too far in identifying too much lands for solar development. Essentially, what we found is that of the 4.5 million acres in Arizona, less than 0.5% of those lands would ever actually be developed for solar. So we're, along with a lot of other people, asking the agency to constrict that acreage to ensure that there's a minimization of conflict between solar development and wilderness quality lands. Right now, looking at our data sets of citizen proposed wilderness in Arizona, we're finding that almost 500,000 acres are indeed in conflict with the agency's preferred alternative. Learn more about this issue at our website, www.azwild.org, or you can go read the EIS and make your own public comments at solareis.anl.gov. This is the last week for the public to make comments on this draft programmatic EIS, so please go to the website if you haven't already and make your comments known. The second issue I wanted to address was forest planning. AWC attended meetings in Phoenix last week regarding a Forest Service proposal to revise regulations that will oversee how our forests are managed for the next 20 or 30 years. This is a very important issue. This is sometimes referred to as the forest planning regs. This is the document that essentially outlines all management on our Forest Service lands. Right now, there's a draft plan that was just released by the Obama administration. We think there's some good things and some bad things in this draft plan that would oversee forest planning efforts. The good includes some wilderness-related issues. We think that the Forest Service's decision to take more obligations and more responsibility for protecting wilderness that they're recommending to Congress is a good thing. This is a change in previous forest planning management responsibilities of the Forest Service. The bad thing in the wilderness realm here is that the Forest Service has not attempted to revise the criteria by which they inventory lands for wilderness character. Right now, there's a lot of sights and sounds issues that the Forest Service uses to discount potential wilderness areas. For instance, if you can see or hear things that may not, outside of a potential wilderness area, that may be human caused, that can disqualify an area. We think that's wrong. We look at Superstition Wilderness or Push Ridge Wilderness in Tucson, and while you can still see the city of Tucson from Push Ridge, nobody in this town would say that it's not a valuable wilderness area. On wildlife, the bag is mixed as well. The Forest Service is stepping up and protecting endangered species, but they're also too ambiguous about how they define species of special concern. So you can go to AWC's website to learn more about this if you didn't catch the public hearings in Phoenix last week. The comment deadline for this issue is May 16th. The last issue I wanted to talk about that we're following and working on this week is the BLM's wildlands policy. You may remember in December the BLM released their draft guidance for how the BLM is going to restore its authority to protect areas on public lands with wilderness character. We applauded this decision. We think it's a great policy. Plus, it gives groups like ours and other wilderness-related groups an opportunity to get our inventories right into the mix. So the BLM now is thinking about how this policy is going to be implemented. We're watching closely at Ironwood Forest National Monument and the Lower Sonoran Field Office of BLM, which contains Sonoran Desert National Monument. These may be two of the first field offices in the country that tell us how this policy is going to be implemented. But generally, we're excited and we're engaged in providing more data and public support behind the implementation of this policy. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you soon.